We are almost halfway through the month of August. Today, we'll be discussing sneakers to resell in the remainder of the month. If you're not into reselling, that's okay as well. You could use this guide to know what are going to be the most hype sneakers, the most limited, or even what popular general releases may go on sale because, hey, we're all trying to save some money. Specifically, we'll be discussing the name of the sneaker, the retail, the release date, and whether that sneaker will be profitable or not, or if they may even sit on shelves, resulting in a sale price. Feel free to subscribe and enable post notifications. This way you stay 100% updated on all these profitable releases. Also, be sure to follow my Twitter for urgent updates like shock drops, Keith Adam 10, and for early information before these shock drops occur. Endurance always has your back. You can join with the link in the description below. Kicking it off with tomorrow, August 15th, at retailers and the 22nd and Nike for $110. The Dunk Low Light Silver Corduroy and women's sizes will be dropping. Pre-sale for these is already very low, even worse than the pink pair, so I'd say these are mostly personals with the exception of the largest sizes, those of which have potential for brick profit with a poor margin, only if you have no tax. Also on the 15th for $125, we have a bit of a strange one, and that's the Adidas Superstar Into the Metaverse, or Bored Ape. I say weird not because of the shoe itself, even though I'd never wear them, but because they have almost no sale volume, but the few sales actually are decent. So I think there is a niche of people who might be willing to pay over retail for these, and maybe they don't even sell out right away, but perhaps they can make some decent eBay flips to some geeks who aren't too familiar with sneakers. Adidas should have free returns for these too, so just keep these in the back of your mind as a potential eBay flip if you could be a patient seller. But then moving on to the 16th for the Gani website and the 18th for New Balance for $170 each. The New Balance 1906R Gani Blazing Yellow and Egret will both be dropping. Prior Gani New Balance have not been very good, with the exception of a few decent sales here and there, so if you are a patient seller, perhaps you can make some lunch money off these, but I wouldn't expect them to sell quickly if you're looking to profit. I'd say the yellow pair would probably be slightly worse than the other. Then on the 18th and the 23rd for Nike, for $150, the Air Max 1 Bronze will be dropping. Like many Air Max 1s, these are just personals. In fact, some sizes are already under retail, so you should be able to get them for pretty cheap if you are patient. Also on the 18th for $185, the End Solomon XT6 Truffle will be dropping. Most regular XTs do brick, but some collaboration pairs, especially XT4s, do end up being profitable with low sales volume, so another shoe that might take longer than usual to flip, but could still be profitable. And another good thing about the XT6 is that it's only $185 rather than $230, so I would say that these do have potential if you could be patient when selling. Moving on to the 19th though, for $150 each, the Terror Squad Nike Air Force 1 Low in black and also light blue will both be dropping. Demand is actually pretty solid on these, at least for an Air Force 1, so I could see these being at least lunch money with a subpar to decent margin, but nothing crazy. Then on the 22nd for $160, the Zoom Vomero 5 Barbie will be dropping. These are already under retail in the secondary market, so if you want a personal, maybe for your daughter or wife, or maybe for you, you know, it's 2023, at this point nothing surprises me, you could probably get them for below retail. Then on the 23rd for $180, the Kobe 8 Protro Halo will be dropping. Demand on these is already very high, and understandably so, being a really clean Kobe colorway. Expect these to be profitable with a very good margin, full throttle. Larger sizes will of course be the best, but I think many of us are going to be hoping for a personal pair. Furthermore, there's also grade school pairs dropping for $120, those of which I believe should also be profitable with a good margin. Then on the 24th, on Union's website, and the 26th for Nike, for $200, the Jordan 1 Union LA Beffy's Beauty Supply Woven will be dropping. Demand is actually a lot higher than I expected previously, so I am being a little more optimistic now, expecting these to be profitable for lunch money with a subpar to decent margin. Definitely nothing crazy though, especially with Union charging high shipping. Based on current demand, it seems like it could still be a decent opportunity. Again, nothing crazy though. As for the Elevate pair though, I'd expect those to just be personals. Also on the 24th for $120, we'll be seeing the full drop of the Dunk Low Vintage Navy Women's. We already saw the shock drop for these. Make sure to follow my Twitter for urgent notifications like this, and for early information before those shock drops occur. Endurance always has your back. While this one did have a 15-minute warning like we saw in the UNCs, the really limited shock drops don't, and that's when early info really comes in handy for those really limited profitable drops. And Endurance of course does much more than just early information. collaboration. It extends far beyond just sneakers as well. You can feel free to join with the link in the description below if you happen to be interested. But anyway, following their main drop, these are just hardly above retail, but it does look like there might be some room for lunch money with a poor margin if you have no tax for those larger sizes at least. And then on the 25th, the Noder Salomon XT4 will be dropping for $230. These might actually be decent as well, like we mentioned on the prior XT pair, although those were XT6s. When it comes to these XT4s, they are $230, which obviously makes it less likely for these to be profitable, but based off some prior XT4 collaboration, there definitely is potential for these to be decently profitable, at least if you're able to be patient when selling, because even those profitable pairs seem to have very low sale volume. Also on the 25th for $140, the Air Force 1 Low West Indies in yellow will be dropping. Based on the last pair, you'll probably be able to grab these for below retail if you're patient. Also on the 25th on Nike for $110, the SB Dunk Low Noise Aqua will be dropping. These already shock dropped randomly at a couple of low-key skate shop websites, and some more of those may drop leading up to this Nike date. Endurance monitors all these low-key skate shops, and it allows for some pretty frequent SB Dunk cookouts. Again, you can feel free to join with the link below. Also on the 25th for $140, the Social Status Nike Mac Attack Social Currency will be dropping. Based on how the last pair performed, I'd say these are mostly just personals. Then on the 26th for $225, the Jordan 4 Frozen Moments will be dropping. Despite their higher than usual retail, they seem to have potential for lunch money with a poor to subpar margin in large sizes based off current demand. Nothing crazy though, due to that high retail, which really hurts the margin. Anyway, these should also be at least lunch money with a poor to subpar margin depending on what size you get and if you have no tax or not. Moving on to the 29th for $130, the SB Dunk Low Yuto Horigome will be dropping. Expect these to be very profitable with an incredible margin, full throttle. Also on the 29th for $225, the Jordan 5 Burgundy will be dropping. These, on the other hand, like most 5s, especially with that elevated retail, are just personals. In fact, you might be able to grab them on sale if you are patient. Then on the 30th for $160, the Air Max 1 Soft Vinyl in women's will be dropping. I'd expect these to mostly just be personals. Also on the 30th for $120, the Dunk Low Light Orwood Brown will be dropping. Considering these are already close to retail, I'd have to say personals only. Then, sometime in August with no date, the Off-White Air Force 1 Mid Sheed will be dropping for $185. Considering how the Pine Green pair did, I'd have to say these are mostly just personals too, and you might even be able to grab them for under retail. We also might continue to see some retailers restock some Yeezys like Slides and Foam Runners, those of which Endurance has been monitoring and notifying for throughout the week. If you want to know which ones to expect, you can watch the last video on them. I'll link that at the end of this one. Anyway, that's going to conclude it for today. You can feel free to leave a like if you enjoyed, or maybe if you learned a thing or two. Subscribe to stay 100% updated on all hype sneaker news, and remember, check out Endurance with the link in the description below if you're looking to broaden your horizons as a reseller and entrepreneur in general. With that, I'll see you guys later. Have a fantastic rest of your day.